welcome CEO and co-founder of SingularDTV, Zach LeBeau.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for being here. Jim, can we kick it to the video to begin with, please? I remember in 1997, David Bowie, he sold himself. He launched himself on Wall Street. Essentially what he did was he took his music that he made, that he owned, and he tokenized it. All of his music's future royalties he put in the form of bonds that he called Bowie bonds. You can call them tokens as well. So the public could buy a piece of his music. It was a direct investment into him as an artist, and no one had ever done that before. It was groundbreaking, and he raised $55 million doing it. I remember it having a huge impact on me in the fact that you could take your ideas, a project, your talent, whatever you had to offer to the world, and go out and find a community, find an audience, find those out there that believe in you, that support you, that want what you have to give. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do what David Bowie did. I wanted to tokenize my writings, my books, my scripts. And I was this kid from a small town in the Midwest, and I was a rebellious artist. I didn't know anything about Wall Street, didn't want to know anything about Wall Street. And I certainly wasn't David Bowie. But this concept, it stuck with me all these years. And now, 19 years later, we have the tools. We're building the technology for anyone with an idea or a project to create their own tokenized ecosystem. Giving them the opportunity to find the audience, giving the world the opportunity to buy their tokens, to fund their project, to help manifest their dreams. What SingularDTV is building is a completely new type of industry. It's an alternative, an alternative that is transparent, that is uncensorable, that is peer-to-peer, where revenue collection is instantaneous, where middlemen don't exist. No sales agents, no distributors, no lawyers, no intermediaries that end up diminishing an artist's profit potential through creative accounting or through waste and inefficiency. We're building a completely decentralized entertainment industry. We're building the tools that empower artists, that give them control over their property, over their revenue. And there's a movement of artists out there like Louis C.K. and Imogen Heap and Grammatic who are already leaving this old system behind. In SingularDTV, we're building this new system. In order to make sure that the most important part of the process wasn't just theory, we had to prove it. We had to tokenize our idea, and we had to launch it to the world. And that's what we did. Our motivation has been pure and progressive and positive, open, transparent, all of that right from the beginning. It is the reason why us four founders have come together like we have and have been able to do this. It's the reason why we have been able to get the quality of advisors and core investors. And it's the reason why we're able to have designed what we did and are about to launch it right now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, launch! SingularDTV token launches in the air!
Right on!
Bravis! Good job, guys! Fantastic go!
So we've got 229,000 Ether. 274,000 Ether.
2 million, 3 million, Jesus.
4.35 million in 3 minutes. 4.48 million, 4 minutes.
5.5 million.
We are less than 1 million away from the cap. All right, we're approaching we're past 7, we're at 7.1.
Thanks for all your beautiful energy and your amazing work. Yay.
Wow. You know, $7.5 million in 15 minutes, it really feels so 2016 now, doesn't it? You know? With the way everything is accelerating, it's really quite exciting. An associate of mine the other day said that he thinks perhaps all this token launch ICO business is going to become saturated quite soon. I think it's just beginning. Token launches are just beginning. Maybe ICOs will start phasing themselves out, but you know, we've got a $65 billion crypto economy going on right now, and it's growing every day. So token launches have just begun. Before I go any further, I'd like to thank, of course, Amanda Guterman and Jesse Grushak, Patricia Padilla as well, for putting this together. Really good vibes going on here. And Shelly and Mike, thanks so much. And of course, Big Papi, Joseph Lubin, co-creator, co-founder of Ethereum, and of course, founder of Consensus. Joe, without you, we wouldn't be here right now. So thank you very much. All right. One of the things that artists ask us a lot is how can they make money from Ethereum, from SingularDTV, from the blockchain? And I always answer, you have to tokenize it. And what I mean by tokenize it, you have to tokenize your IP, your idea, your assets. It's the only way for you to onboard your idea onto the blockchain and really start to benefit from the power of decentralized computing. SingularDTV is all about empowering the artists to be their own economy so they are free to express all around the world while having total control over their IP, their rights to revenue, in an environment that is peer-to-peer, a distribution environment without gatekeepers and without intermediaries. So from an artist's point of view, it's all about tokenizing anything. It's about tokenizing everything. Tokenize it. We just happen to have in a module an application called TOKIT, which stands, of course, for Tokenize It. TOKIT is the beginning of our entire entertainment economy. Here, artists onboard their ideas, they create their projects, they create their tokenized ecosystems, and they create their tokens. And these tokens are embedded, they're programmed with the ability for the artists and creators to control and manage their rights, their revenue, their royalties, their rewards, our words apparently. So TOKIT, it really in its purest form is a decentralization generator. A lot of the smart contracts powering TOKIT are actually coming from the same smart contract system, the same tokenized ecosystem that is SingularDTV. So this was something that took us a long time at a very high cost to produce, and now we're making it available for artists and creators to do themselves in a matter of minutes at practically no cost whatsoever. So here, once you've onboarded, if your project is ready to distribute, EtherVision, module number 11. EtherVision is our distribution portal, peer-to-peer, decentralized, from television to EtherVision. We'll get back to this a little bit later. For those who have onboarded their projects in TOKIT, but they're not ready, they're still in the developmental phases, you can go to our project funding launchpad. This is where artists and creators can actually tap in to that $65 billion crypto economy that continually is growing. Now ultimately, ideally, millions and millions of tokenized ecosystems, millions of tokens will be generated from TOKIT. We can't expect centralized exchanges to list all of that IP, all of that art. So number two, SingularDTV's decentralized exchange. This is where all of this art and this IP will be listed. The point, again, is artists and creators to be their own economy. Buy, sell, trade their tokens, their IP on our decentralized exchange. We have mentioned before Codex. We launched that a couple months ago, excuse me. Whereas the modules you've seen so far are applications or platforms, Codex is an entity. Codex is it's a design and research lab for tokenized ecosystems and for their proliferation. It's Codex's primary function to constantly upgrade TOKIT with smart contract systems, more functionality in their tokens to empower the artists. That's its primary objective. So I've covered 5 modules so far, and this is what I mean by starting to talk about SingularDTV as an entertainment economy. Aside from these 5 modules all being in the same economy, what they also have in common is that all 5 of these applications, platforms, are launching this year in 2017. TOKIT and the Project Funding Launchpad will technically be ready in a month, 2 months maximum. Decentralized exchange into the summer. Ethervision into the year. Codex is already going now. It will start generating revenue by the end of the year. So one of the entire points of our SingularDTV economy is to gravitate value into the singles token. And for those of you that don't know, the singles token is SingularDTV's token, SNGLS, singles. This is the token that powers our tokenized ecosystem. And just to quickly break down what a tokenized ecosystem is and what it looks like, you have smart contracts. You purpose them together in a smart contract system. You program your tokens with this smart contract system. When a token launch occurs, these tokens are generated. And if you want to just imagine the smart contract system in the center like the sun and the tokens orbiting around it, that's a tokenized ecosystem. In the centralized world, we've got LLCs, we've got corporations. In the SingularDTV entertainment economy on Ethereum with ERC20 tokens, a business structure is a tokenized ecosystem. It's an Ethereum ERC20 business structure, tokenized ecosystem. The whole point is to gravitate value into the singles token. We do that by, we take TOKIT, for example, and the Project Funding Launchpad. These are 2 applications. They work together, they connect together. You can operate them with singles tokens. You can operate them with Ether. If you operate them with singles tokens, then of course it creates more of a demand for the singles tokens. If you operate it with Ether, then of course that Ether is embedded into the singles token as revenue for singles token holders to withdraw as per our consumption rewards model. Decentralized exchange, transaction fees, revenue embedded into the singles token. Ethervision, transaction fees embedded into the singles token. Revenue generated from Codex embedded into the singles token. This is why sometimes in my writings or in my presentations, I will refer to SingularDTV as one day becoming a multi-billion-dollar entertainment economy. Back to Ethervision real quick. One of the most important things is getting audience aboard as easily and conveniently as possible. Of course, you can pay with crypto, but you can also pay with credit cards. We really want to make it as easy as possible and make sure that audience can have access to the content like they normally do outside of the decentralized Ethereum paradigm. You know, another interesting module within Ethervision for the artists and creators. In the Ethervision interface is a marketing module. And this is really important because this comes from a lot of pain, just like all of these modules do. They have very specific utility. Quick story, one of our producers was making a film and they paid a distributor $35,000 to administer a digital marketing campaign. That distributor paid a digital marketing company only $5,000 of that $35,000. They pocketed $30,000. So that's quite a markup. But if you're an independent artist and you've been begging, borrowing, and stealing for years to make your film happen, that's tantamount to theft as far as I'm concerned. And this puts a stop to that by having our front end hook into the back end of the digital marketing company, where the artists and creators get to choose from a menu list type option where they can, they know exactly what packages and what territories they want to distribute to. They know exactly how much they're spending, and they can receive the metrics back on that to know how effective they are. 6, 7, and 8, same thing for the creators, for the artists. We've got number 6, which is sort of an Airbnb style production services and crew hiring application. Number 7, equipment rental application. This is one of those things where, you know, you're hard pressed to find an independent film operation that isn't renting equipment. It's so much cheaper to rent equipment than it is to buy it. So I've got equipment at home right now that's not making me any money, and I know there are filmmakers out there that want to use it. Number 8, talent management. This is basically to field offers to talent within the SingularDTV economy. It is a smart contract system that automates the talent agent and manager process. So I'm really looking forward to building this one. I've been dealing with a lot of agents and managers lately. Legal repository, number 5. Can't forget this one. This one's important too, even though it's maybe not as sexy. This is a legal repository where there are smart contract legal add-ons. So if you want more specificity, more terms and conditions for your project, then you'll have that option in TOKIT to add to your project. So these 5 that I've just covered right now, we're forecasting those launching in 2018. And last but not least, our union interface. This is forecasted for 2019 because there's a lot of politics and a lot of moving parts with this one. This is all about acquiring a blockchain signatory designation from the unions, from SAG and AFTRA and WGA, DGA, IATSE, Teamsters. And you guys can actually go to the SingularDTV Medium blog in about an hour and read more about all of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ecosystem, the entertainment economy of SingularDTV. And just finally, before I go, you know, the whole point really, again, is empowering artists with tools so they can be their own economy. There's a very elaborate system of gatekeepers out there that oppress and suppress expression. And when artists do actually express, there's an even more elaborate system of intermediaries that extract value from that. Again, I mentioned that in the very beginning. So we do sincerely hope that we can, that our ecosystem, that our entertainment economy will help expression for artists all around the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.